Thank you. Oh, did you have a nice lunch? Yes? Thanks. Now, guys, all you cute little college kids, I just want to talk to you for one moment. I know you love having Brad at your meetings, but his mama taught him everything he knows. So if you invite me, I will come. I'll have a little competition with Brad. Yeah, baby. Oh, it's so fun to have kids, isn't it? And you get to talk after they did. The stories I could tell you about Brad. How exciting has this event been? I mean, I am so full. Do you feel full? I mean, my heart has been racing this whole event. It has felt so fun to just be here, to just experience this. And I hope that you people who are here for the first time and are new people can feel the energy, can feel the spirit, because this is truly the spirit of VEMA. It's truly the spirit. Well, you know, we've been talking a lot about belief and believing, and Tom and I thought we would talk a little bit about the journey. And to believe, you have to have a journey to get there. So in order to tell you a little bit about the journey, I have to tell you a little bit about my and Tom's journey. Some of you guys have heard about how we met and a little bit about it, so just bear with me. I'll go through it quick. When Tom and I met in 1979, I was 21 and had never been around network marketing, and I didn't know much about it. Anyway, making a long story short, this wonderful couple, actually that was Tom's Amway upline, invited me to come to California. Now, the woman had already decided that I was the perfect match for Tom. So I came to California for the big fix-up. So I had to set up, I brought my very best friend with me from college, Robin, and we got to fly out to California. Well, the day the people were supposed to pick us up, and this was a huge experience for us. I'd never been in a nice hotel in my life. I'd been in Motel 6s. This place had gold everywhere. They hid the TV and the furniture. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. All of a sudden, this guy jumps up out of this big chair, and he waddles over in his flip-flops, and he had on shorts, flip-flops, and a Hawaiian shirt. And he comes up to us and says, "Hi, I'm Tom Mountcassin, and I'm here to take you." And then, so I'm like stunned, my mouth is open. As he walks away, my best friend looks at me and she goes, "What a dork." What is a dork? Now, as we got on through the story, obviously Tom improved. We went to a meeting and he showed up in his suit and I was impressed. I was really impressed because as we talked, I liked all the things he said. And, you know, I didn't know anything about networking, so I didn't realize that it was very important to learn about how to approach people and who to approach. So, you know, I have a question for you. If you saw this guy someplace, would you tell him about VEMA? Would you even approach him and say, "I got a business to tell you about"? Okay. But as we went in through that week and I experienced the whole dream of network marketing in 1 week, I said to myself before I went back to Alabama, maybe there's hope. When I looked at him, I said, maybe there is hope. So needless to say, I went back to Alabama, packed my little blue Camaro with my CB radio, Break 19. You kids all there don't know about CB radios, but the rest of you do. Drove across the country to start the dream. And boy, was that a journey for me. It was a journey for the beginning of my life. When I drove those over 2,000 miles, scary miles, it it was pretty scary. And sometimes when we step out to talk to people, sometimes you've got something in your life that you know you really need to do, and it's really scary. We're here to tell you that sometimes that's the very thing that will change your life. Take a chance. That's what you're here to learn about. Believe in yourself and take a chance. And that's what I did, and I have never looked back. It's been the most amazing almost 32 years. And now I'm excited because you know how we've done the before and the after pictures? Well, my goal is to do the before again. Like, you can pick a good picture of yourself, guys, from way back before. Now, not when you're 10 years old. You can't go that far, but pick a picture of yourself when you really liked the way you look and put that up. So that's my goal. I want to get back to that before again.
You know, everything's been said this weekend about belief, and in the last few minutes that we have, we're the opening act before Darren Hardy, by the way. So, who's coming? We'll talk about Darren in a minute. I want to share with you some things very quickly, though, that I think will help you. And you might just get 2 or 3 things out of here. You know, last night when Brad had all his guys up in BK's suite, and like Bob Proctor came in and he said it was like the Red Sea parted and all these kids moved, and then there were 200 kids down below, and BK was, somebody asked the question, hey, are you going to make a new Getting Paid video? And BK, not knowing I was behind him, said, Getting Paid, that's lame, we're getting rid of that. And I tapped him on the back. He didn't even look at me. He said, who let the parents in? And so, anyway. Hey, let's talk real quick. Here's a best-selling book. Hebrews 11:1 says, and when we talk about what it means to believe, it says that in terms of believing, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So if it's substance in terms of believing in Vima, what are we talking about when we say substance? What's the one word begins with a D? Your what? Your dream, right? It's the substance of the things that you hope that the business is going to create for you. The evidence of things not seen, but it's not seen yet in your life, but are you seeing it here this weekend? Are you seeing it here this weekend? You know, all the stories are all designed to do what? They're all designed to help us believe. So let's take a look. Let's see some important ideas in the concept of believing. You know, a lot of people say, I want to believe. I just want to believe. Well, it's a journey. I mean, that's why we entitled it this way. It's a process. It isn't going to happen. Is it going to happen from one event? Well, you know, you're going to be certainly lifted here today, tonight, through this weekend at this event, but it's just the beginning of a process. And so, first thing you got to understand, it's definitely a journey. Next thing you got to understand that the past, you know, I love the stories of the people that have been in Vima for a while and yet just recently achieved new ranks. Randy and Mandy Heron. You know, what a great story that was, because their past did not equal the future. The fact that whenever they got in, they did not allow that to impact where they were going to go. And one more thing, very quickly. What is your attitude about your belief? I mean, here's a fundamental thing before you're going to believe is your glass half empty or half full? How do you look at it? You know, you'll never get the belief that you need if your glass is continually half empty. And so let's take a look at some additional things here along the way. Where does it all start? Well, Robert Schuller says you have to bloom where you're planted. You know, a lot of people maybe this weekend are saying something like, well, you know what, if I just could have had a lawn service like Ruth Elliott, then I could be successful, right, Ruth? Or if I could have had this or that or the other thing, then maybe I could have a chance at making this work. It's right where you are today. I love the diversity of stories that Vima, that the success that continues to rise up, all people beginning wherever it is they're planted. So what are you going to need along the journey? Very quickly here. What are you going to need? You're going to need some things. You're going to need calls, okay? You're going to need to be plugged in. You know, you can't come to a convention and say, I believe, and then go home and disengage, okay? Whatever your upline is providing, you have to be anchored to that. You've got to be at all of the events. You know, going back to that first picture, that was scary. The beginning in Amway, I remember I would never miss an event. I'd worked for 1 year for somebody else, and like all the great job that Brad and the panel did up here today, I worked for 1 year, and I said, I do not see myself doing this for the next 39 years. And so if that's the case, what am I going to do? I said I wasn't going to miss any event. Wherever it was that was in line with building my business, I was going to make sure that I got there. And if that meant I got off work at 5 and I did a meeting till 10 and I had 2 or 3 hours to drive home and I had to be up at 6 o'clock the next morning to go to work. But folks, how important is it to you? You know, if it's important to you, then you'll plug into all of those things. The tools, lots of tools provided by your upline. Follow what it is that they are providing. Darren Hardy, coming in just a couple of minutes. If you've not read The Compound Effect, you have to get to the bookstore. In fact, Darren is going to be signing books. That book made a significant impact on me just recently in terms of our business, the growth we've had in our business. You have to plug into tools. Many people have talked about personal development. Encouragement. How many of us need encouragement? Yes or no? How do you gain encouragement? How do you receive encouragement? You give it. Thank you, whoever said that over there. You be a great encourager. You know, everybody needs encouragement. If there's any one thing that you can give and you can give freely, it's you can encourage people. I don't care. Look for the smallest thing that you can encourage somebody about. And lastly, small victories. Small victories. This is part of the supplies, the things you're going to need in raising yourself up. You're going to need small victories. What's the best victory? Anybody? What's the best victory? Enrolling one person, absolutely. Enrolling one individual is a tremendous victory. Okay, so let's take a look at the process really quick. How do you raise your belief? You've got to take what? What do you have to do? You've got to say it with me. You've got to take what? Action. You've got to get into action. You know, I think the reason the young folks are growing so quickly, nobody's analyzing anything. They're getting in. They're getting excited. They're making a list. They're teaching them how to invite, and they're getting busy when? Right now. Right now. You can do all the other stuff. You can fill all the other things in. And, of course, when you take action, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a what? You're going to have a successful experience, okay? Raise your hand if you've enrolled one person. Raise your hand. Everybody in the room that's enrolled one person. Turn around, look left and right. Just keep them up for a minute. Look at all the hands in the room. Looks like enrolling is a pretty easy thing to do. So if you continue to do it then, here's what happens. Guess what your belief does? Your belief goes up. Your belief continues and takes up a level higher. So what are you going to encounter on the journey? You've set out where you are. You've got some supplies. You're going to encounter some roadblocks. How many have had roadblocks in life? Raise your hand if you had a few roadblocks. You've heard some people's personal stories. I'll bet you had roadblocks here this weekend to get here. Many people overcame all kinds of things to be here, and we congratulate you and salute you for that. But people are going to tell you no to the opportunity. Raise your hand if anybody's told you no. Raise your hand way up high. Lots of people have told you no. Does it matter? Yes or no? No. It doesn't matter. I remember one time in my Amway business, I had done 17 meetings in a row, and 17 people all said no, and I was ready to quit. And the next 5 people all got involved. Yesterday the speaker talked about the tipping point, right? That was a tipping point. Had I not been plugged in upline, it might not have happened. People are going to tell you no. What else? What else is going to happen? People are going to quit. Raise your hand if you had anybody quit. Yes or no? JD, nobody's quit. Had anybody quit? 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Everybody, folks, we all have people that choose not to, okay? But the takeaway from people saying no, people quitting, and people are going to tell you you can't succeed. Anybody told you that? Yes or no? They have all told you these things, right? All you reflect on in this process of building your belief is what you want in your heart. What do you want? What is it? We're back to the faith is the what? The substance. It's that dream, that thing that you want to accomplish, that thing that you want to achieve. I had a little nameplate on my desk when I was a programmer. When I just gotten in Amway, I went to an office supply store and I had this little nameplate made, and it had the word freedom on it. A nameplate where you'd sit at the end of your desk and whoever comes see your name, right, for whatever reason. I had this nameplate that looked at me that reminded me all day that I wanted to be free. And that I so wanted to be free, and I so wanted to not worry about money. How many of you would like to free yourself up of money worries? Yes or no? Say yes if you want to free yourself up. Why not? There's no reason that you can't push that completely aside in your life. But you've got to be able to overcome these three things. People are going to tell you no. People are going to give up. How many of us have had people that we had such high hopes for who gave up? Yes or no? And yet people sometimes we think aren't going to do anything, end up doing great things. People are going to tell you that you can't succeed. So where will you finish in the journey? You will succeed if you but believe, okay? And you've heard a lot of sayings this weekend on belief, but you have to buy into the fact that not I hope I'm going to succeed, not I'd really like to succeed, but I will succeed. Just say it with me. I will succeed, okay? And so this journey of belief, everybody's at a different place, a different starting point, but you will succeed if you'll allow that belief to develop. And last thought, if your dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I've heard lots of people overcame all kinds of things to get here this weekend. And these stories of all the speakers have been I've been inspired by so many of you and the things that you shared this weekend, all driven and built around a dream. You have to let that become bigger than all the circumstances and the facts that surround you. And so if it's big enough, it will outweigh the lousy day at work. How many of you ever had a lousy day at work? Raise your hand. How many of you would like to get rid of that job? Raise your hand. If the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And last but not least, here's the great news. The great news is this is something that you can do. The remarkable investment that BK makes in all of us, out of his pocket into the future, not take for one thing, for one purpose, to help you and I realize that we can do it. We like to say that we're going to climb the ladder, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to hold the ladder for somebody else to come up. It's a great visualization if you think about that. And folks, get off yourself. Get off talking about, the song is not how great I art. That's not how the song goes, right? And focus on the things, the needs, the concerns, the feelings, the obstacles, the things that people have in your group, in their process of trying to believe. If you just do that one thing, if you get your eyes off yourself, all of the things, Vima will add up all the numbers. You don't have to worry about it. I did this, and it doesn't matter about, this is not about you. It's not about us. It's about the newest person and that dream that they have, that hope that maybe they could push it away once and for all, completely out of their life. That's what it's all about. And folks, if we become an organization, if we become known for that one thing, great products, yes, great opportunity, incredible branding, incredible corporate support, but if we become an organization that has one thing that we're known for, how we collectively as leaders take our eyes off ourselves and how we help that newest person get that first small victory, our future is absolutely stunning of what's going to happen. Folks, we want to thank you for allowing us to share today. Here comes our host. Let's give it up for BK as he comes back.